This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we're dealing with the Bosch dishwasher that doesn't heat up. It seems to run forever, and it's probably a problem with the heater. So we're going to make sure we unplug it or turn off the breaker, and we're going to try to take the door apart by removing a series of Torx 15 screws from the perimeter. So we have to remove all the ones that go around the dishwasher door, and also these two little ones on the side near the top. There's one right there, and there's one on the other side. They're the ones that hold in the control. Suspicion is that the machine is not heating up because the circuit board has a relay, a heater relay, where the solder has probably melted. It got too hot, and you can either replace it with a new circuit board, and sometimes you can repair it with a soldering iron, which would cost you 20 cents or less in solder. If you buy a new board, it can be a lot more. So I just pulled the control panel and the door away, and now I'm going to remove the electrical connectors here on the control panel. So I'm just going to pinch in and wiggle these off one at a time. You might want to take a picture of where they are just as a reference to help you put them back. They can only go back one way, but it just makes it a little bit faster to put them back. So just pinch and then pull them away. And then the next thing we'll do is we have to remove the white plastic part. We have to separate it from the metal frame once we get these little guys off. And that'll allow us to get into where we can remove a couple of pieces to get the control out of the machine. So we're just pulling these electrical connectors off. So now we're just going to work on separating the plastic from the metal. So there's 4 clips that hold them together. There's one here kind of in the middle near the bottom, another one right next to it close to the middle, and then there's 2 near the bottom at the 2 ends. You just have to undo those clips, and then we can remove the metal from the plastic. Now we have the control and the metal, and to get that out we have to push in on 3 little tabs here at the bottom. Actually, it's only going to be 2, one on the right, one on the left. You can just push in with your finger or use a screwdriver. And then once you push those in, you can push the control out away from you. So you're going to be pushing the bottom out, and the whole control comes out. We're going to now open up the plastic part of the control to see how the circuit board looks. So there's a couple of little tabs that we pry back, and now it folds into 2 pieces. And the side that has the little black boxes, those are relays. We want to separate that from the plastic case. So we're going to push back on these little tabs, one on the right, one on the left. You can use a screwdriver, and then you should be able to lift the circuit board out. And on the back we can see this little burn mark. This is where the heater relay hooks up. At this point you could buy a new circuit board. Here's one on eBay, kind of pricey. It'll probably go anywhere between 150 and 220. Or you can resolder this little joint that's come loose. And the first thing you want to do is try to clean that area up. And then you want to use your soldering iron to get that metal wire part of the relay super hot. And then you want to add some solder. I also scratched up the circuit board real close to that wire so that I could get some of the metal exposed. And then I put the solder on and got it really hot. And then just going to put it all back together. You want to put a fair amount of solder on there. Now I'm going to push in the bottom of that circuit board, and then I'll push down the 2 ends, and then I'll put the 2 halves back together. Just take your time here. You'll see how it all fits together. I pushed it back into the metal frame until it clicks. We can kind of see at the top here how these little plastic pieces fit in to the metal. And then once you get those in, you push in the bottom, and those 2 little tabs click in. That holds it. There's the ones on the bottom. So now we have the control hooked back up to the metal frame, and we have to put the plastic piece back in. So at the top here, there's some tabs that fit into the metal, and then we push in the bottom until those little guys click. There's 4 ones that are going to click, and then we're going to pushing these in until we hear a click. 2 in the middle and then 2 on the sides. And we have the console all put back together, and now we put in the electrical connectors. We're going to put the console back onto the door and put some of the screws in. We'll put the side screws in and then a couple here on the top. We're going to put these little spacers back in on the door at the bottom. They just push in. Usually they're white or black plastic. They're just spacers. They're not super critical. They just kind of push the door away at the bottom. And then we're going to slide the outer panel back up into the plastic upper console. So we're going to just push it up. These tabs go up into it. And then at the bottom, we have to push the bottom of the panel over those little plastic things. And we're going to put all the screws back in, and everything worked great. We had steam, we had heat, the dishes are getting clean. Only took 20 cents. Thanks a lot.